As far as a woman over 40 that you see who wants to tell her story to the world, what would be the first step that she would have to take in order to be comfortable with herself, in order to be able to sit in a place of honesty, to be able to, because when you write, let's be honest, if you do it right, it
Mhm.
brings up emotions, it brings up feelings, it brings back things that you thought that you may have handled and you may have dealt with, but in actuality, you really haven't. So do
Correct.
you have any advice as far as to where you need to begin? Like community, like another guest that we had on before, we talked about having a community and having a tribe around you to support you. What would your suggestion be about that?
So I definitely think finding your tribe. I think it's, and if you don't have one, I think it's about creating one where you create or you have a safe space to say the things out loud that you're feeling. And by safe, I mean a non-judgmental space. So you're in a community, even if it's just one other person, a trusted friend, family member, whoever, that can be also be objective. And right, so there you want to say things that may not be all that pretty, because the truth is not pretty oftentimes, and that they can hold that space for you and bear witness to what you are feeling.
So would you say that accountability is a part of your tribe? And
Hmm. And I think you're
how do you
accountable.
manage rejection? Like, what does it look like to be able to take rejection without taking in rejection?
So oftentimes we internalize rejection and it can feel personal. And for me, I look at rejection and failure as the same or in the same realm. And for me, what I say is, what is there if you strip back maybe the emotional response to rejection, if you distill that down, what is left, and what is left for you to look at and maybe learn from. I think there needs to be, and again, this is, depending on the context, depending on what the situation is. But I feel like if someone is rejecting you, then perhaps you might want to ask yourself, particularly maybe let's say it's a friend, like, let me take a step back and let me look at this through a different lens, right? What
Right.
is going on? What has this friendship been about? Is there value left? Is this rejection a pattern, right? That perhaps you've been ignoring up until now, or you've been excusing it away.
Right.
Um, so again, a honest reflection for yourself, not reaction. In the face of the rejection, taking a moment and stepping back for yourself to glean what's really going on, to look at it from a different lens.
Yeah. So we don't have much more time, but what I really want to do is, for women, we're right now talking about community
Yes.
and building our tribe. You're a professional that helps us women walk through the processes that we need to go through to get from where we are to where we say we want to be. Because sometimes you realize that when you're working through this process, this is not actually the end result that you truly and genuinely want. How do you find the right tribe members? Or is there
Mm.
such a thing?
I believe there is. And what I believe in terms of the women I work with, it really is about holding space for one another, not judging one another. I think it is about making sure that everyone feels safe to use their voice, to say the things out loud that people can, and in a space where people can ask questions like, what's behind this feeling? Where do you want to go with this? How do you want to work through this feeling? So it is also about allowing for the space to be open enough to reflect back to maybe that person what they're saying and ask questions to help guide them through that emotion, because it can be messy. And I believe it is my job and other women's jobs to hold space for that messiness, to bear witness to that messiness, and to help you walk through it. I am my sister's keeper.
And we also need to throw out there too that we need to be accountable to ourselves for our own
Yes.
messiness, because a lot of the times we want to point it and say, oh, well, she or he was the reason why AB. we have to sit in that hot seat sometimes and say, yeah, I did that.
Yes. And
I
I
did
think,
that.
I'm sorry.